I'm a women's holistic health coach for women over 40, but I'm doing an intuitive eating workshop. So that's
That's it.
one segment of my work, but not my whole thing per
Mm,
se.
mm,
So yes, so let me just briefly tell you what it means to be a women's holistic health coach. So I specialize in women over 40
hmm
who are perimenopausal, menopausal. They're probably at a point in their life where they've been focused on career, focused on kids, focused on their partner, focused on aging parents, and they feel like they've let themselves go a bit. They haven't been focusing on their health or their body, and they're maybe suffering from those midlife slumps, brain fog, fatigue, belly fat, some hormonal weight gain, maybe some, heavier issues like pre-diabetic, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, because they've been focusing on other areas of their life, which makes sense.
yeah.
But now they're over 40 and they're like, if I don't do something about it now, it's only going to go downhill from here.
Mm,
Women over 40, they lose 3 to 10% of their muscle mass every single year after the age of 30. So it declines very rapidly. And after 40, 50, 60, it goes up even more. And muscle mass is our most metabolically active tissue, which keeps us lean. It helps our joints, it helps with injuries, and it helps to with insulin. So
okay.
whenever we eat sugar, it goes straight to the muscle.
Mm,
So we want more muscle on our body for longevity, for
right.
heart health, for all the different areas of health. And so another thing that happens is sarcopenia. We lose bone density after the age of 40. So there's a lot of things, and then our hormones are up and down during perimenopause, and then they decrease completely during menopause and postmenopause. So we've got a lot of things working against us. So I have found a holistic approach, which not just does the physical aspect, which is obviously exercise and nutrition, but it's lifestyle habits such as circadian rhythm protocols, supplements, stress management. And then we also do the mental, emotional, spiritual, and energetic aspects, which is how to, set boundaries with people, how to clear our chakras, as Jolie does, in alignment with our higher purpose, how to stop people pleasing, how to shift our identity and our mindset around maybe we've been heavy our whole life or struggled with health issues. How do we shift that identity? So we do some neuro linguistic programming, some brain reprogramming, subconscious reprogramming. We do the energetic side of it. Maybe we're holding on to weight as a protective mechanism, perhaps to keep us away from other people or to protect us from our own words that we're saying to ourselves. Many women speak about their bodies very negatively. And time again, if you've been doing that for years, your body literally builds weight
Yeah.
around you to protect yourself from your own words so it doesn't go into your organs and cause disease.
Yeah.
So there's so many facets. So when it says holistic health coach, we're going from the physical and physiological standpoint. We're going from the energetic standpoint. We're going from your history. So any kind of sexual trauma, physical abuse, anything like that will affect health and weight. So many women who suffer from autoimmune disease, it's because they suffered from a traumatic childhood. There's something called
Mm,
ACE is called adverse childhood experiences. And you can Google it, you can get on the internet, and you can take the quiz. There's about 10 questions, such as, for instance, have you ever suffered from sexual abuse? Was one or more of your parents an alcoholic? Was one or more of your parents suffering from a mental disorder, such as, bipolar, depression? Was one or more of your parents, not in the household? Were you raised by a single parent? So you have these adverse childhood experiences, and the people who have the higher numbers that have clicked more of the questions on, they are mostly women who suffer from autoimmunity. That's when the body goes against itself. So if
yeah.
you go to a regular doctor, they'll just say, "Oh, it's your body is fighting its own cells, and we don't even know why it really happens. It's just autoimmune."
Yeah.
But we can see that autoimmune happens more to women. And it happens with people who have more adverse childhood experiences. So that's why when I go with the weight loss and the health coaching, I can give you a nutrition and an exercise program. Unfortunately, that's not enough. For permanent weight loss, you've got to have the whole package, the holistic package, which is physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic. So when I work with people, I work with them on all aspects so that when they lose weight, they have a new identity and it's now forever, not for 3 months or 6 months or whatever.
Yeah, that's brilliant. You know, I kind of, I totally get this because, you know, in many ways, you know, we feature a lot of work. In fact, we're doing some like this Sunday. So when we're kind of sharing this, one of the things we're going to be doing is doing some of the little snippets that Dr. Bruce Lipton puts out there, which
Oh,
just,
yes, I'm familiar with him.
it kind of explains just how much control we have because it's getting that balance of mind, body, spirit, right? Because we tend to think of ourselves as physical beings, but we're not, right? We are physical, but we're also, you know, the mental body, the emotional body are so important. And having the adverse emotions that are there through whether it's ancestral, whether it's something that's come through to us during our lifetime, as you say, you know, going through the checklist. Um, you know, these are things that we have the power to do something about it, but first you have to have a system that allows you to identify it. So I think that's brilliant, Josephine. I think that makes
Thank you.
it almost makes me want to join the ladies program as
Oh,
well.
I love it. Wonderful. It's just what I thank you for sharing that. It's beautiful now. We do have the world is in the most chronic health conditions, like it's through the roof compared to
For
50,
sure.
60 years ago.
Yes.
But the beautiful part of that is we now have more awareness that it's not just the food we eat, which is a huge aspect,
Yeah.
obviously, or
Yeah.
the water we drink, but it's our mental. We are self-healers. We can heal ourselves if we have the right tools, the right system, the right accountability, the right coach, mentor, whatever it may be. Or maybe you do it yourself through your own trial and error. That's great too.
Yeah.
Um, it's faster with a coach, but if you
Yeah.
do it by yourself, there's plenty of people who've healed their whole body. Because have you seen the water experiment with the Japanese doctor?
That's right. Yeah. It's sort of like Dr. Emoto.
Yes, exactly. The words we speak have energy, and energy causes vibration, and vibration affects cells
It
in your
does.
body. And we're primarily water. So if all day long I'm saying, I'm so fat, my tummy's so disgusting, I'm so ugly, I'm so old, like those words bring down the vibration and they affect the water in my body, and the cells start to get all wonky. And when the cells get wonky, disease comes into the body. And
Yes.
that's when we have those issues. So if you can reprogram your brain, start talking to yourself in a better way. And I'm not just saying affirmations, I'm so beautiful. You start with something you actually already appreciate about yourself that you know is real.
Yes.
Then you build from there.
Yes.
So I have a system of how I do affirmations, not just go in the mirror and say, for instance, I'm a millionaire, and you've got $0 in your bank account.
You're right.
Your subconscious isn't going to buy that. But if I find micro moments of how I'm abundant in air, I'm abundant in blue sky, I'm abundant in energy today, I'm abundant in hugs from my son, now I'm clocking these micro moments, and these micro moments build on each other.
Yeah.
So you start small. What's one area of your body that you do love? And a
Right.
woman says, well, you know what? I always get complimented on my eyes. Good. Focus on that. Tell yourself every day, I love my eyes. Today, and the guy at the coffee shop said, wow, you have such beautiful blue eyes. So you focus on that. You build from there. You're now reprogramming your subconscious mind. And then when you get to the areas you don't like so much, we're now starting to shift the paradigm of it. So you don't start with the part that you hate. That's just a little tool for any of the viewers if they want to try it. Start with something you already like about yourself.
Yes.
Use that affirmation. And then we build up to, once we've worked those muscles, to the areas we don't like about ourselves. But what happens is people start with the area they don't like.
Yes.
That's not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is really no, I love this because it's so empowering, right?
Yes.
And I agree, you know, like you could tackle it by yourself, but at the end of the day, to have somebody who understands and is able to build a program for you makes total sense to me. Again, you know, talk about epigenetics, which is this whole idea of programming in and honing in on these positive aspects and turning those negative aspects, which have kind of generated like layer upon layer upon layer, and we don't even know they're there because
Yeah.
they've been built over decades. So again, everything you're saying to me, Josephine, just makes total sense.
I was just talking to somebody today. She says she hasn't had energy in years, and she feels like, well, that's just a part of getting older. I said, no, when you're at a low energy, of course it could be physiological, low blood sugar, thyroid. Like there is a physiological, physical aspect, but
Sure.
there's also the energetic standpoint. What are you thinking about all day?
Mm.
If I'm thinking about how everything's going wrong in my life, and my partner is a jerk, and my kids don't get good grades, and my job sucks, does that bring my energy down or does it bring it up? It brings it down. So the what you're thinking, your thoughts, they create actions, and the
Hmm.
actions create then beliefs, and the
Mm.
beliefs become habit. Do you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So it has a ripple effect.
Oh.
So you have, when you think about, oh, how happy I am, how grateful I am, or how like I love something, I love the blue sky, I love the sun on my face, whatever it may be, small micro moments again, my energy goes up. See, it's
Mm.
all micro clocking things,
Mm.
but most people are so negative and depressed because, like you said, they've been this way for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years. They don't even know that their energy's low because of the thoughts they're thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it really starts in the mind, is probably the most important first and foremost. Then we do the physical aspects of getting the proper food and exercise and proper sunlight, proper lifestyle habits, sleep, and
Mm.
all of that. But I'd say mindset is first, because if you're not willing to look at what you're thinking, or you're not willing to change, nobody's going to be able to help you.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, everything you were saying about the power of words, Professor Emoto over in Japan, all those experiments back in the 90s and the noughties, it proved it beyond doubt. And as you say, we are basically mostly water.
Yeah,
Therefore, what we are putting into our body from a mental, emotional perspective really affects our physiology, right? So
absolutely.
it's so important. Now, tell me a bit about the workshop then.
Yes, I'm sorry. I kind of went off on a
Yeah, no, no,
tangent,
no.
but
This is
I
important.
went a
This is
little,
important background.
I went a
Absolutely.
little left. But so I do, like I said, the holistic approach. However, I am teaching a free workshop on Wednesday, November 13th at 12 p.m. Pacific time. And it's a 1 hour free workshop. And we're going to be talking about intuitive eating. So that is one small piece of the larger puzzle in what I do.
Mm,
But I wanted to offer some value to some women. And then there's also a Q&A where they can feel free to ask me
mm,
any questions about anything in the holistic a program that I do. But with the intuitive eating, it's getting us out of the diet culture. Diet culture says you have to count calories. This food's bad. This food's good. For women to be obsessed, to think that like a low calorie item is better, to think, so the intuitive eating is getting us more into our body,
yeah.
feeling what feels good, feeling what feels nourishing. Believe it or not, it's most of the women I work with, it's not that they're eating too much, they're actually eating too little. For so long, because they've been programmed by diet culture, they're eating this 1,200 calories, they're counting calories, they label foods as good or bad. So they go, I'm a bad, and then they start to say it to themselves, I'm bad because I ate a piece of pizza today. So
Mm,
in my intuitive workshop, I'm teaching women how to break free from judging themselves or their worth, or feeling guilt or shame around food.
mm,
I'm helping them to learn that counting calories is actually not the best method to permanent weight loss.
mm-hmm,
I'm teaching them how to really taste their food, how to eat,
mm-hmm,
when to eat, what to eat, that's going to nourish their body, support their energy, support their hormones, support their weight loss goals, if that is their goal.
mm-hmm,
Maybe, maybe not, maybe it's health in general,
mm,
but in an approach that isn't about obsessing or counting calories or restricting. Or another thing I see a lot with women is they save up calories. So
mm,
they're like, they skip breakfast, they skip lunch, and then they have a major binge eating at night.
yeah, yeah.
Or like yesterday in the US here, it was Halloween. I don't know if you celebrate that there, but
Yeah, we do. Not as
okay.
not as not as to the depth of the Americans,
Okay.
but it's not that far off.
Okay. So what happens is women a lot of times on holidays, they know they're going to be tempted by candy. So what they do is they skip meals all day in order to save.
Mm,
But so I'm teaching them to not think about food as like you have to give things up. Think about adding to, and also showing you how to eat your breakfast, eat your lunch, have some candy. You won't end up binging if you eat breakfast and lunch.
yeah, yeah,
So the thing
yeah.
is we've all got it backwards. So it's
Yes.
like punishment and all that. So in my intuitive eating workshop, I'm going to teach women how, again, to break free from guilt and shame, how to stop judging foods as good or bad, how to eat with, knowing what's good for their body, what to eat, when to eat, and how to eat to properly nourish them
Mm,
and to reach whatever health goals they may have.
yeah.
And this is just one small segment in my larger program that I'm offering to give value and as a Q&A as well.
Wow, that's really good. Because one of the things that even before we started Elevated Planet, I was always kind of, I had we kind of set it up as a three-pronged kind of approach, which was Elevated Planet, which was all about, just sort of like having fun with it, with the media, but also we had something called Forever 49, right? Which is for
Oh,
people aged 49 or people who wish they were 49 again once more, right? But it's
awesome.
very much about lifestyle. It's very much about, we never actually expanded that too much at this point, but who knows, right? It could happen.
Yeah.
But it was very much about lifestyle, creating a lifestyle where you could have fun because getting older can actually be a lot more fun. And every
Hmm.
year that goes by is more fun than the last one. So, it's great, but it's a mindset. And it's really, I mean, so much of what you say makes total sense to me. And I'm thinking, oh, I need to get back to Forever 49 and create something.
You should, because my program is called Forever 40. Isn't that
Yes,
serendipitous?
there you go.
Yeah. My holistic health program is called the Forever 40 program.
Mm,
And it's, just saying 40 can be the new 20, right? At
right.
20, we didn't have I'm actually in better shape physically, mentally, emotionally, with my confidence, with my body, with everything at
Hmm.
42 than I was at 20. At 20, I was in the diet culture. I was obsessed with counting calories. I
Yeah.
suffered from an eating disorder, binge eating, anorexia, didn't have a lot of confidence. And now at 42, I do eat. I had candy last night and I didn't punish myself with a workout today. I didn't like sit there and obsess. Okay, how many calories was a little mini Snickers? And that is a prison in your own mind. And it's
Yeah.
actually not going to help you reach your goals. And so many women are doing that. And it's just, it breaks my heart because I've been there. And it's like you actually miss out on life because one, you're not present. Two, you're always obsessing. When's the next meal? What am I going to eat? What's the calories? And then should I go to that party? I would miss birthday parties. I would miss events. Because I didn't want to be tempted by the food. But then at home, I would
Mm,
go and eat an entire chocolate cake by myself. So you
mm,
see the craziness in there. I'm not going to go to a party where I might be tempted by one slice, but I'll
yeah.
stay at home by myself because I've skipped eating all day and then eat an entire chocolate cake and feel lonely and angry. And so it's just, so many women are suffering, men too, but I predominantly work with women. Is
Yeah.
it just it can it we, if you know the proper tools and techniques and mindset shifts, you can overcome that because I did. So
I think some of the best healers in all the different areas that we look at from Elevated Planet perspective, I find that the healers that we have out there with the various disciplines are people that have really had been confronted with challenges themselves in
mhm.
their earlier part of life, which makes them the healers they are now because they have total empathy with the people that they're
Yes.
talking to. And it's important because if you've kind of been fit, healthy, and had a wonderful life and all the rest of it, you've not experienced the shadow side that helps other people to actually get out from the shadow and into the light. And I think this is so important at this time because we are changing. The planet is changing.
Mhm.
Everything is the higher vibrational frequencies are
Yes.
going to be important, which means a lighter kind of way forward as well. Not the density, whether we're talking again, it's the all three aspects of who we are, the emotional, the mental, and the physical. Getting that balance right. And what you tell me is like music to my ears. I know, this is for the ladies. And I understand exactly why it is important, because also, I mean, I spent many years working in America as well, and I understand what the culture is like out there.
Mhm.
You know, you do see a lot of issues out there with the way that diets are put together, and you know, fast food is the cheapest and easiest way to kind of take care. And a lot of people who have, you know, very who have the lower income scale
Yeah.
almost get forced into that.
Yes.
You know?
It's all, well, they've got it down to a science of the marketing and how to go against what our natural inclination is to be. Because like when before, like we talked about 50, 60 years ago, people were much healthier,
Mm,
you know,
mm,
and it wasn't, so it's because of the fast food and the industrialization and the chemicals and all that, but also that we don't prioritize any downtime. Before, family was so important.
for sure.
uh, you
For
know, and it
sure.
doesn't have to necessarily be the nuclear family. It can be just having a really close, supportive connection with friends. But nowadays, we live in a fast food society where I get my groceries delivered, my food delivered. I talk to people on Zoom and Instagram and the social
Yeah.
media. I don't ever have to see anybody, but we
No.
are meant to connect with other humans. You need a certain amount of hugs per day to build up your oxytocin. But
Yeah.
most people, they're not getting that. So where do they go
Sure.
look for it? With
Yes.
food, with gambling, with sex, with whatever, alcohol, whatever. And food is the easiest thing to go for because we need it to survive. And it's so easy to get. And the
Yes.
cheap food is the worst kind for you. So it's all a perfect cycle of get us isolated, give us cheap food that gives us that dopamine hit or whatever
Yeah.
serotonin hit that we're
Yeah.
so need with connection and
Yeah.
self-love.
Yeah.
There you go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, what you say is so, again, I just keep coming back to Dr. Bruce Lipton and his, you know, he's been doing this stuff for well over 50 years now in terms of the, you know, the biology side of things. You know, I mean, he's really nailed it. He's really understands the nature, and everything you're saying is absolutely in line with what he's saying. So,
Oh, wonderful.
you know, it kind of makes absolute sense, and to offer this free service, right, to get people to understand the nature of what you're doing, I think it's a beautiful thing. And you said it's the 13th of
Yes,
November?
it's, yeah, November 13th at
Mm-hmm.
12 p.m. Pacific. It'll
Okay.
be about 1 hour. So we'll do about 40 to 45 minutes teaching you the intuitive eating style, and then we'll do a Q&A. So, and then women can ask questions about anything related to health,
Mm-hmm.
fitness, lifestyle, and the Q&A. It doesn't have to be about the intuitive eating, but whatever is on your heart to ask, I'm
Right.
happy to get that. And then we'll also be giving away to one winner a 3-month one-to-one mentorship with me. So
Great.
I like to give back when I can.
Yeah.
And so they will work with me very closely and I will
Mm-hmm.
hold their hand the whole way. We'll probably be in communication almost every day or so.
Mm.
And that's my 3-month coaching Forever 40 program. So one
Right.
person who shows up live will win that. And then I also have a few other bonuses for those that attend live as well.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay, well, we're going to put the details on the video. We're going to put the details on the newsletter
Oh,
for
great.
anybody so that they can get in touch with you and make sure that they can get themselves registered for the workshop, I'm sure. So I'm thinking that you're going to reach a lot of people, and I think
Oh,
it's
thank you.
very important, very important. So